welcome to another episode of NOLA Wargaming. So this is my last game of the 9th Age using the alpha rules. We've actually been in the beta for quite some time now. This is just the last episode I have to actually record using the alpha rules. Today I will be playing against Old Man River. And Old Man River, as you can imagine, is old. And for some reason, he just absolutely kicks the crap out of me in almost every game that we play. And I don't know why yet, but it just seems to go that way in every game. So let's kick this off and move on to deployment. So here you can see is Warriors of Chaos, which are sometimes painted, but mostly not. And as you can see, I've also started using the beta names for everything, except for the Skyla model, which has no purpose in the 9th Age beta. Yeah, the Wasteborn Knights, the Dragon Ogres, the Chimera. There's not a whole lot on the left side of my deployment, so I'm hoping that these guys are kind of wasted over here. Although the super awesome Hunter, who does have the additional attacks, he is hanging out over here. The right side of the table, we've got the Wasteborn Warriors, the Dragon Centaurs, and the Juggernauts, as I tend to refer to them as. He doesn't have any characters in these except for the one BSB, which I've for some reason not labeled on here. And he's just hanging out with the Juggernauts right there. The level 4 Chosen Sorcerer is using metal. I don't have a whole lot of armor, so it's not like it's a problematic lore for me. There's my side of the table that's facing off against the knight units and stuff. Like I said, there's not much over here. I'm hoping just to kind of draw this stuff in. I am hoping that the tracker with the dog can manage to just obliterate those dragon centaurs. And, you know, he's got the additional attacks. He's strength 6. If you've been watching my other battle reports, you'll see that he's done virtually nothing. But I'm convinced the theory is sound, and that maybe at some time he'll do something useful. And also, you can see that I've named my Noblar the Fraglings, which I like a lot better than the Hobgoblin names they currently have. It's a little bit of a mix of Fraggles and Goblins, so they will henceforth be referred to as Fraglings. Here's the left side of my line. This is the same army I was using before. Expect some big changes coming for Monday. I actually didn't go to my Monday Night Gaming last week because I've been out of town, and this Monday is the first time I'll get to play with the beta for quite some time. Everyone else has got to play. I have not. And I think the Yetis are going to move to a less central part of the army after this. Anyway, this stuff is facing off against those the warrior units and the juggernaut units. And I think I'll be able to push the Yetis straight through the warriors along with the mammoth, which is what I've been doing in my other games, whereas the ironclad unit should be able to push through the juggernaut units. The ogres hopefully will just distract, as well as the dog. So here's the ogre magic. I'm still going with the lore of beasts. If you haven't watched my other videos, there are not a ton of changes here. Wisdom's wild form is the same as it was in Warhammer. The inner rage grants frenzy to a unit. Curse of honor here is the same as before. Transformation of Kadon is it makes one model good depending on what aspect you go with. You can give a unit +3 strength. You can give it, or you can give a model +3 strength. You can give it regeneration. You can breath weapons, stuff like that. It's much closer to the Savage Beast of Horos, which is no longer in the lore. It's a good spell. It's just a little on the pricey side for me to cast. So typically I don't get it off that often. And the Ogre Butcher just has the +1 toughness. I mean, I have to take him because, you know, there's no way to get the lore of gut. There's no way to get the lore of beast without taking the lore of gut guy. But, you know, it's not awful. The lore of gut is just not a lore that I'm big on. I think it's now the path of gut instead of what it is now. So here's the Warriors of the Warp. Like I said, I'm selectively changing all the names and everything. I'm still getting used to them. You'll see, I think the next battle report is going to have all of the new names attached to them. But you'll see me slip every now and again. Anyway, the Chosen Sorcerer, Searing Doom is, you know, the same as it was before. Enchanted Blades are the same. I mean, I don't care that much about most of this stuff. I don't have any armor, so Searing Doom really only affects me on a 6. Enchanted Blades is +1 to hit, which is an awesome spell that I'm really going to worry about. Plague Rust is -1 to my weapon skill. Not weapon skill, armor save. And Final Transmutation is more or less the same as it was before. But I'm multi-wound, so I'm a little bit sheltered from that. Good old Plague of Rust. I love it when people cast Plague of Rust on me. It's just so funny. He does have the lore attribute though, that whenever he casts a spell, he gets to pick a unit within 12 that gives him +1 armor save. So I do have to watch out for him just casting crap spells on me just for the sake of getting that +1 armor save, which is really nice when combined with some of his units who already have very good armor saves. So turn 1. Unfortunately, it does not go to me. It goes to my opponents. Also, this picture is before we Vanguard. The Hunter actually moves up, and his dogs on the far side of the table move up. So the Hunter should be directly across from the Dragon Ogres, or Dragon Centaurs. Just like that. So he thinks that his Dragon Centaurs can take out my super awesome Hunter. He is sadly mistaken. Those guys are armed with great weapons. Super awesome Hunter is, well, like I said, super awesome. You can't take that guy down. And he makes the charge very easily. And here's a picture of the rest of his units moving up. The Wasteborn Knights just kind of move forward. They want to take out those bulls, but just like I typically do with the bulls, I'm just going to move him back, and he can either expose the flank to the bulls, or he can just keep running after them. I mean, it's going to take another turn or two before he gets near him. Skyla moved to this side. I didn't expect that. I thought he would kind of hang out with the rest of the army because he is the general. It's not the level 4 sorcerer that's floating around on the other side of the table. But this is the last time I'll ever see Skyla, so that'll be the end of him. There's the Chimera just hopping over the hill. I think we decided that that was going to be impassable. We do maneuver around it as if it's impassable. And we might have chosen it as a hill. No, it plays no part. So here's the right side of the table. He's just cautiously moving up. He knows the Yetis are quick. He's seen how the Mammoth works already. He's just not going to expose his flank to any particular unit right now. He's just going to wait and see what I do. I mean, neither one of us has a lot of shooting, so I guess it doesn't matter that much right now. So here's the magic face. Like I said before, he's just going to throw out spells and pick up the +1 armor save. And that's what he does right here. He throws out the Plague of Rust. I have a good laugh about how it's going to eliminate my armor save forever. Because, I mean, the Ironclad unit only has a 5+ armor save. Every unit on the table on the opposite side of the board is strength 4 higher, with the exception, I think, of the dogs. So now everything on the table except for the dogs eliminate the armor save in this unit. I had a good laugh about it. My opponent had a good laugh about it. But he still got the +1 armor save, and I had let this thing go. I think he put the +1 armor save on the warriors. That's what he does for the most part. That and the Dragon Ogre unit. He throws it on them a lot. So, I mean, they go from a 4+ to a 3+. I think currently the lore attribute doesn't allow you to decrease below a 3+, but most of the time he was looking at a 2+ on the armor save from the Dragon Ogres in this game. And so then he throws the Enchanted Blades and the Dragon Ogres. I mean, that's just a scary unit right now. They'll be hitting on 3s or 2s in almost every unit every time against me because the weapon skill 4, Ogres typically weapon skill 3. And they've got that 2+ armor save. So, I mean, they should be able to just take the damage and then just hit back, particularly since every one of these Dragon Centaur units has great weapons. So they're all strength 7. Here's the Hunter. He just takes one look at those Dragon Centaurs and just beats the ever-living crap out of them. He takes 2 wounds for his troubles. He does have a 2+ armor save, but it just got mauled by the strength 7 of the Dragon Ogres. The dog, he did try to stomp the dog, and he fails just over and over again trying to stomp the dog. So he does know the dog can be stomped, but he just can't do it. He just can't kill the guy. All of his attacks are going on the guy. He just kind of whiffed this first one. I mean, I do have 5 attacks at strength 6. I think I hit him wounded with everything, and that's why I mauled one of the guys and then did a wound to another. So it's my turn. As you can see, I immediately declare a charge on those Dragon Centaurs. I'm just going to drive those guys off the table. Super awesome Hunter just can't be beat. He doesn't run off the table, but he's all the way over there. I obviously do not make the charge. It's pretty far away. Even with the Swift Stride granted by the dog, I'm not going to catch up to him. Over here, the dog declares war on his dogs. I think I can win this combat. Typically, I win this combat. The only problem is that sometimes my opponents get lucky and they take out the dog. I mean, he just has 2 wounds, and sometimes, just with a couple of attacks, they can knock out those 2 wounds. But I'd like to knock out his chaff if I can. I make the charge very easily. And here's my whole army moving up. Nothing special about it. If he wants to charge those knights, it's going to be problematic because I've got the ogres in front of him. I mean the juggernauts. The Noblar move up. It's a long charge for the dragon ogres if they want to do anything. Really, it's about making sure the juggernauts hit the ogre unit, and if they overrun, they'll overrun into the ironclads, where I feel like I can either flank them in my turn, or I'll just be able to kill them right out with all the strength 6 and strength 7 attacks. Over here, not a lot to say. The bulls move back, the Noblars move forward. I mean, I don't have anything on this side of the table. I'm just trying to distract him, essentially. If Skyla stays over here, the knights stay over here. If I'm lucky, I can get the Chimera to stay over here. But that's it. I mean, it's not a lot of points on my side over here. He's invested a lot more. So 2 things happened in this picture. One, I didn't take a picture of my own magic phase. I threw out the Curse of Honor here on the Juggernauts over there. And the other is that I killed 2 dogs with my dog. He's only got 3 attacks back. He needs 4s and 5s. Manages to punch through those 2 wounds. Like I said, this happens every now and again. Just with the 3 attacks, they do 2 wounds. I mean, he should hit with 1.5. He should be doing about, I don't know, a little less than a wound a turn. But, small numbers, it just happens every once in a while. So I lost my dog, and he gets to keep his chaff. Turn 2. So the Dragon Ogres declare a charge on the Fraglings right there. Fraglings are probably not going to stay. And look, they don't. So the second unit of Fraglings, it doesn't stay either, and they both take off. This is a change that you'll see in the beta version of the 9th Age. Currently, in this alpha version, what's going to happen is the same thing that happened in Warhammer 8th edition, where he can only declare that he's only taking that charge against the closer unit of Noblar. So there's no way, the further unit of Noblar. So there's no way he can redirect the closer one. In the 9th Age, he actually has a choice between these 2 units on which one he actually wants to pursue. So it's like he gets 2 full charges, not one and then a redirect to the next. And I'm not sure. I guess it's a good change. It's not a change that really affects me all that much. I think it's more of a change that affects the Dark Rider spam. When you take the Dark Rider unit, you put it in front of, you take 2 units of them, you put them in front of 1 unit, and then one flees and the other flees, and then they rally and they do the same thing again. I can't do that with Noblar because they're not fast cav, obviously. But typically I run these guys in 4 units. So the Noblar treadmill still works in the situations that I typically run them in. But it does make the 2 units of Noblar double fleeing much less useful. Anyway, he fails to charge and just moves up a few inches. Over here, the knights swing around to try to deal with this hunter. Like I said before, there's not a lot over here, and I didn't really... I should have expected this, but I didn't. If I hadn't moved the bull so far back, then I could have kept this from happening, but, that's my fault. Over here, the Chimera swings off to the side to annoy my flank. Skyla just kind of hops around the Noblar. And everything is as it looks right now. Not a whole lot, just stuff moving up a little bit here and there. The wizard jumps off to the left. He's waiting for me for the most part. And he throws out a Searing Doom. I told him he should have cast it on the Yetis, but he didn't really care. His odds of doing wounds to either one of these units are pretty low, so he knocks out a wound on the bulls. And throws out another Enchanted Blades on the Ogres. I think they're 2+ armor save right now, because I think he keeps pumping them into there. I'd expect, from this point forward, just assume that he's kicking the lower attribute onto the Dragon Ogres, because I don't remember him kicking it off onto the Warriors ever. So, during my turn, I decide I'm going to declare a charge on the flank of that unit right there. It's not like I expect to really win this combat. I really expect it just to draw the combat, and in which case I'll hold everything up with the Ogres just being in the way. As a result, he flees because he doesn't want me holding the Dragon Ogres up and the Juggernauts up. He's very wary, very aware of the frenzy on the Juggernauts. and if he hits a unit, he'll have to overrun, and if he does that, it means that I will just have him. So he does not want that to happen. I do redirect into the Juggernauts because I've decided that I'm going to take my unit in the back, and I'm going to smash the Juggernauts with them. I've got a lot of Strength 6 attacks. I've got some Strength 7 attacks in there. I feel like I can take these guys out, even with the 1+ armor save. I mean, it's a 4+ or a 5+ with my Strength. Even with these bulls getting in the way, I think I can do it. And both units get in. I think the bulls got super impact hits, and the ironclad did not. I don't remember entirely. It doesn't really matter. And the hunter just plows into those the dragon centaurs. He's going to take them down. It's going to be no problem. This guy, he's a beast. Up right now, he's got 6 attacks. He's just going to lay waste to these guys. The 2 wounds are on the hunter, not on the dog. And here's the rest of my my army right here. The Noblar just kind of do their Noblar thing and look weird. The bulls are moving up to threaten the rear of the knights. And, you know, it's kind of how it looks. Oh, here's some Noblar doing Noblar things. On the right side, you can see that I'm trying to form some sort of a battle line on the right side. I'm too close to the Chimera, so if I flee from the Chimera, the Noblar is going to get run down and he'll be in my backfield. If I stay, he's going to kill the Noblar and be in my backfield. It wasn't a good situation. I should have swung one of the Yetis around to be facing in another direction, but I didn't do it. Why? I don't know. Probably because I was trying to focus on those Wasteborn warriors up there. It was just stupid on my part, but that's what I did. Here's the Gorgers, or the deformed ones, showing up. They're a thing. They can charge the rear of that unit right there, which I believe, I don't remember what the mark is on them. It might be Khorne with shields. I honestly just do not remember. I know they have shields, but I don't remember if they... No, they have no marks on them. It's just shields. So I throw out a Wizen's on the bulls because I feel like they're the easiest to kill. I don't know why. I should have thrown it on... Well, it didn't really matter. I actually... one of my viewers was commenting on my use of shield walls in my games. I actually don't use the shield wall in my friendly games. I'm just too lazy to do it. I knew that the shield wall was coming to an end because in the 9th Age, they largely eliminated the shield wall. You can kind of almost do it to other characters in a weird way, but rank and file can always attack rank and file in the beta versions. And so I just don't like to do it. It's a pain for me. I think it's kind of chinky, and I didn't do it here. So I throw out Wizen's on the bulls instead. I guess I could choose one or the other, and that's what I did. So the hunter laid waste to his little dragon ogre friends, and then he ran off the table. He's frenzy. He had to pursue or overrun, so that's how he ended up over there. Yeah, so this happened. Even with the... I think I had the curse... Oh, no, there would have been a new magic phase. I didn't get Curse of Honor here off at this point. So even with all of my impact hits, with all my strength 6 and 7 attacks, I just sucked it up in this combat phase. My opponent was a beast when it came to rolling all of his hits and wounds. He beat the crap out of the Ironclad unit. I got into a challenge between my BSB and his BSB. I think I did 3 wounds. I think he saved 2 of them. I think I only did 1. And he managed to stick around right here, which is terrible because he's got all that stuff on the flank over there, and there's absolutely nothing I can do to deal with it. I just thought that I was going to plow straight through these guys, and I just sucked it up. I really thought it was going to be bad and that there wouldn't be anything left, but nope, that's not how it went. The Old Man River, he's a crafty one. So here's turn 3. This is where it starts to go downhill. So the Knights decide to declare charge on the Noblar. Noblar. I think I stay right here. Skyla decides to declare a charge on the Noblar because Noblar. Yeah. This is not good. That's a big unit, and that is a tiny unit of Ogres. They're not stubborn. There's nothing. The only thing I can hope to do here is kill off the BSB, which is the only thing linking these 2 combats into one. If he dies, The bulls are free. It's a separate combat, and we'll roll break tests separately. That's all I have to do. I mean, there's not many wounds left on the unit itself. I think there's only 2 wounds left in the Juggernauts, and the BSB's got a couple wounds. I mean, my BSB's strength 7. He's got 4 attacks apiece. Actually, I think he's got 5 attacks because I keep putting additional attacks on him. He should be able to take this guy out. Let's see how this goes. So Noblar get charged, and like I said, they're Noblar. Makes a charge there because he's only a few inches away. The Dragon Ogres keep fleeing, and that Hunter, like I said before, ran off the table, so he is still off the table right now. The rest of my the Chimera just jumps over the Noblar. Didn't want to have to deal with the Noblar fleeing and maybe him not catching him, so he just hops over the whole thing. And like I said before, this is just a terrible position for me to be in. I have nothing to countercharge the Chimera, and it can charge anything in my army. Not sure why I did that. So the Noblars somehow live against the Wasteborn Knights. I'm as stunned as you. I was all set to pick up the whole unit. They flee and get away. I know that unit of 3 Noblar. They're just Fragling. My bad. Just managed to flee away from the Knights, and he goes nowhere. He doesn't even get into the next combat. Same thing happens with Skyla. He sucks it up. Does only 3 wounds. Noblar take off running, and the Noblar is still there. So this happens in the combat phase. I don't even think he gets any magic off, but I fail at getting rid of that unit right there. My BSB does no wounds to him, or he does wounds to him. He just saves all of the wounds. And I managed to kill off that last Juggernaut, but it's not enough. The combats are still linked. As a result, I take a whole bunch of combat damage from those bulls. They break and get run down. And this unit breaks, but gets away. But there's no BSB, there's no standard, so it is much diminished from what it was before. So in my turn, his sorcerer gets a little too close to those Gorgers. And that one declares a charge. He decides to stay because I'm pretty close. And then the second one declares a charge. And he holds still. Yeah, those Gorgers, I got 10 attacks, killing blow. They're vicious beasts, and this is just a sorcerer lord. So over here, his ogre centaurs rally, and sorry, actually they have not rallied yet. My hunter tracker just shows back up on the table. He's ready to take out the second unit of dragon centaurs. He's a beast. He can do it. Over here, the ogres just move around. The Noblar fail to rally because that's what Noblar do. Here, these Noblar just move around. I flank charge this unit right here. This is actually after the combat. The Thundertusk cannot charge because, like an idiot, I positioned the Thundertusk behind both units of the Yetis. He cannot wheel to get past that bottom unit of Yetis. So all I do is move him up like this, so he's pretty close, just to get the always strike last around all of those warriors right there. This was a terrible mistake because whatever happens here, he's going to just be out of position. The Yetis, I don't know what I expected right here. Should have expected a lot less. But they do not break this unit, obviously, with the BSB around. I mean, they're leadership 8 with reroll. Even if I do just crush the unit, it doesn't do anything. And these guys stick around. They actually turn to face, as you can see at the bottom. On the plus side, I just murder that Sorcerer Lord. I think I do a wound. I win combat. He breaks and flees. And the Gorgers just brutalize him horribly. He didn't get away from either one of them. He rolled like a 3 or something. So turn 4. Yep, there's more charging action on the Noblars who just take off running. The Chimera is, like I said, I was stupid dealing with this guy. He's going to flank. He's going to rear charge those Yetis. He has a breath weapon. It's just going to be horrible. Horrible for the poor monkeys. So he makes the charge into the monkeys. There wasn't much I could do. I could flee, but I mean, they're not going very far. So those guys rally, and they're just going to get obliterated by the super awesome hunter over there. He's super awesome. What can I say? So this is what the back of the table looks like. The BSB is swinging around. The dogs are swinging around. Yeah, that's what everything looks like. As you can see, those ogres rally during my turn, and they're facing in a direction which will in no way help them in the future. Knights just move around. I think they caught that unit of Noblar. Unit of Noblar sucks. And the Skyla model just kind of moves up. Yep, I only kill 4. He kills 3 Yetis. So we're almost on a 1-to-1 ratio here. And they break and flee. And he just nails the next unit of Yetis. Those Yetis are not dead at the bottom. They just wouldn't stand up because they're on the edge of the hill. So this happens. Somehow those Yetis don't all die. I don't know how, but they didn't. And but they did flee. And during the pursue, he runs into that unit of 2 Yetis and he kills them. And these 3 Yetis are all kind of fleeing off to the side. As you can see, the Thunder Tusk up there, he sees nothing at all because, what can I say? I'm an idiot. He's just facing nowhere right now. And I don't have a whole lot that I can do once it gets back to my turn. I do have this, though, because Super Awesome Hunter is awesome at killing Dragon Centaurs. He's just going to lay waste to these guys. There's no hope here. He's got 7 attacks. He's got a dog still. I don't know if the dog really is going to help me, but he's got a dog. The Bulls just declare a long charge in Skyla. I needed a 17. They don't make it. It's just a long bomb charge. I was hoping to pick up some points because I'm so out of position in this game. The Yetis keep fleeing just far enough to stay on the table, but he's on the hill, so it's going to go bad. Noblar keep fleeing and run off the table because Noblar. Yeah, so this is me just moving around, trying to adjust. The Gorges are over there, the Mammoths are over there, my unit of Ironclad are here. Everything's looking at that warrior unit right there, but he's got a whole bunch of units, so I don't think he's going to give me the opportunity to really surround that unit over there. Then this happens. You know, his Sorcerer of the Lord is dead. I'm looking at a good magic phase of my own. I throw out the Curse of Honor here on that unit over there. I'm not really sure why. I think I was just casting some magic to give some boosts here and there. I throw out the Transformation of Kadon on the Thunder Tusk. I'm pretty sure I was doing it so I can get the Breath Weapon, so I could flame the warriors up there. I roll 4 dice. I almost never roll 4 dice. I'm a 2 dice to 3 dice caster. I know I don't talk about my magic and how many dice I use typically, but I'm really just a 2 to 3 dice guy. This is the only time I used 4 dice, and it's the only opportunity I will get to use 4 dice for the rest of this game. Because not only did I roll a double 6, but then I rolled a 3, like you can see at the bottom. And because I rolled 4 dice, got sucked right into the warp. That was good. Way to go, big guy. I should have seen that one coming, but yep, that's exactly what happened. It sucks. But overall, I like that miscast table a lot better than the old one. So now it's Dragon Centaur time versus the Super Awesome Hunter. As you can see, my opponent is like, this time's going to be different. And I was telling him, nope, you can't take on Super Awesome Hunter. He's just super awesome. Well, it was different. It wasn't good different. He does manage to kill off Super Awesome Hunter. He does not manage to kill off Super Awesome Dog. Super Awesome Dog takes out the Dragon Centaur after it flees, but he manages to do a couple of wounds with the last few attacks on the Dragon Centaur. I was really bummed because Super Awesome Hunter done so well in this game, and he'd done so bad in every other game I played. And this was his time to shine. I thought this was it. This was the time. And he still dies. So that was the end of him. But the dog, you know, he's doing great over there. So here's turn 5. The Chimera is going to drive the Yetis off the table. I mean, that's no surprise. They're gone. Over here, he just turns around to face. He moves the dogs in front of what's left of the Ironclad and the Blood Shaman's unit, and then he just moves the BSB out of the way. There's not a whole lot. He feels like he can hold with the with those guys over there. He is within 12 inches of the warriors. So on the other side of the table, he just kind of swings around, doesn't want anything crazy. We actually think it's turn 6 at this point, but camera shows obviously it is turn 5. So I charge with everything I can. The Thunder Tusk, the the Mammoth, and the Deformed just plow into that unit right there, and my Ironclad into the dogs. Unfortunately, I've got to kill, what's that, 6, 12, 14, 16 guys. No, I've got to kill a super awesome number of guys in that warrior unit to break the steadfast, because you got to get below that rank of 1. Well, those dogs just bite it. He passes the panic check on the BSB right there. Over here, I don't do a ton of damage, as you can see. I mean, I expected a lot more, between 10 attacks on the deformed ones, 4 attacks on the Thunder Tusk, 6 attacks from the bulls, and then you've got the stomps and thunder stomps. And I only killed 3, 6, 7, 8. I thought that was pretty low. Not that it makes any difference at all. I still won combat. But he stays. First he rolls a double 6, and I thought I had hope here. He just needed to roll a 9, and he was gone. Just a 9. And he rolls that 7, and he sticks it, and that's it. This is the end of the game. And I'm stuck in combat with that unit of Year. If we played another turn, then my Ironclad could have charged in that unit of Warriors. I'm not sure if I could have gotten him down as far as I need to, because he would have just... There's a whole bunch of units he's got over there. He would have repositioned him a little bit, and I probably would have been countercharged and smashed into the ground. As you can see, Old Man River over there, he's telling me all the time that he boarded an ark filled with lots of animals. 2x2, if I remember correctly. So, here's the results of the game. I got absolutely throttled. Big Fat just got 1,100 points. He picked up 1,837, difference of 737 points. Oh man, I got destroyed. This game was over really quick. As soon as I got stuck in with those juggernauts and I couldn't reform, and he flank charged the bulls, I never turned that one around. And I think I really could have if I'd repositioned the Yetis and the Mammoth. But you know, it's totally my fault. It's just what happens. So, well, I had a blast. My opponent had a blast. Old Man River is one of my favorite opponents. He's a real kick. So that's it for me. Leave any comments in the comment box. Like the video, because, I don't know, everybody says to like the video. Don't think it really helps me. None of this is monetized. So click away. And everybody have a good night.